Imagine standing on a bustling city street, surrounded by towering buildings, busy markets, and the sounds of daily life. Now, imagine that same city, centuries later, submerged beneath the waves, silent and forgotten. Today, we're diving deep into the world's most mysterious sunken cities, exploring civilizations lost to the sea long before scuba gear was even a dream. These aren't just myths, they're real places holding secrets of our past. Let's start our journey in the Mediterranean with the legendary city of Heracleion in Egypt. For centuries, people thought it was just a myth, a story told by the ancient Greek historian Herodotus. He described a magnificent port city, a gateway to Egypt, rich with temples and trade. But for over 1,000 years, it was nowhere to be found. Then, in the year 2000, a team of underwater archaeologists led by Frank Gaudio made an electrifying discovery off the coast of Alexandria. There it was, Heracleion, or Thonis as the Egyptians called it, lying silently under 30 feet of water. What they found was breathtaking. Giant statues of pharaohs and gods perfectly preserved stared up from the seabed. There were inscriptions that finally confirmed the city's dual name, solving an ancient puzzle. They uncovered the remains of the Grand Temple of Amun-Gareb, the very one Herodotus wrote about. Hundreds of ancient shipwrecks were scattered around the site, like a ghostly naval parade filled with gold coins, ceramics, and other artifacts from across the ancient world. So what happened to this vibrant metropolis? Geological surveys suggest a combination of earthquakes and liquefaction caused the unstable ground on which the city was built to collapse, slowly sinking it into the Mediterranean around the 8th century AD. Heracleion is a powerful reminder that even the greatest cities can be reclaimed by nature. Next, we travel west to the Bay of Naples in Italy to the submerged city of Baiae. In its heyday, Baiae was the Las Vegas of the Roman Empire. It was a lavish resort town for the super-rich and powerful. Emperors like Nero and Caesar built opulent villas here, complete with private fish ponds, heated spas, and elaborate mosaic floors. It was a place of luxury, scandal, and indulgence, famous for its volcanic hot springs which were believed to have healing powers. The poet Har said it was the most beautiful bay in the world. But the very volcanic activity that gave Baiae its famous hot springs was also its doom. Bradycism, the gradual rising and falling of the Earth's surface due to volcanic activity, caused the coastline to slowly sink. Over centuries, the luxurious villas, bathhouses, and temples were swallowed by the sea. Today, you can visit the Parco Archeologico Sommerso di Baiae, the underwater archaeological park. You can take a glass-bottom boat tour, or, if you're a diver, swim through the submerged streets and villas. Imagine gliding over mosaic floors that once felt the footsteps of Roman emperors, seeing statues still standing in their watery alcoves. It's like visiting a Roman Pompeii, but with a diving mask instead of walking shoes. Baiae shows us a fascinating snapshot of Roman high society, frozen in time beneath the waves. Now, let's head to the other side of the world, to the shores of India, and the fabled city of Dwarka. According to Hindu texts like the Mahabharata, Dwarka was a magnificent city founded by Lord Krishna. It was described as a fortress of gold, silver, and precious stones, with well-organized streets, grand palaces, and public halls. The texts say that after Krishna's departure from the earth, the sea rose and swallowed his entire city. For a long time, this was considered purely a myth, a beautiful story. However, in the late 20th century, marine archaeologists began exploring the waters off the coast of the modern city of Dwarka in Gujarat. What they found was astonishing. They discovered submerged stone structures, massive walls, and grid-like street patterns consistent with ancient city planning. Artifacts recovered from the seabed, including pottery and stone anchors, have been dated back thousands of years. Some estimates place the ruins as far back as 9,000 years, which would make it one of the oldest cities ever discovered. The debate is still ongoing in the scientific community about the exact age and identity of these ruins. But the findings strongly suggest that a sophisticated ancient city did indeed exist here, and was submerged by the sea. The story of Dwarka blurs the line between myth and history, suggesting that some of our oldest legends might have roots in real, catastrophic events. Our next stop takes us to a much colder climate, to the coast of Sussex in England, and a place nicknamed Britain's Atlantis. We're talking about a lost landscape from the Stone Age, a whole world that existed before the English Channel was even formed. Around 8,000 years ago, Britain was still connected to mainland Europe by a land bridge now called Doggerland. Recent discoveries off the coast of Bognor Regis have revealed what appears to be the world's oldest known boat-building site, dating back to this Mesolithic period. Archaeologists found a huge platform made of trimmed timbers held together with wooden posts, preserved in the clay of the seabed. It's an incredibly sophisticated piece of woodworking for its time. Along with this, they found thousands of flint tools and other artifacts. It's believed that this wasn't just a small settlement, but a significant industrial site. The people who lived here weren't just simple hunter-gatherers, they were skilled craftspeople, living in a forested plain teeming with wildlife. But as the last ice age ended, glaciers melted and sea levels rose dramatically. Over thousands of years, the water slowly crept in, flooding the plains of Doggerland and forcing its inhabitants to retreat, until finally, Britain became an island. What we see off the coast of Sussex is a rare glimpse into this lost Stone Age world, a civilization erased not by a single cataclysm, but by the slow, unstoppable march of climate change. Finally, we sailed to the Caribbean Sea, to the city of Port Royal in Jamaica. In the 17th century, Port Royal was known as the wickedest city on earth. It was a haven for pirates, buccaneers, and privateers, including the infamous Captain Henry Morgan. It was a city overflowing with treasure looted from Spanish ships, a place of taverns, gambling dens, and immense wealth. At its peak, it was one of the busiest and wealthiest ports in the Americas. 1 in every 4 buildings was a bar or a brothel. But its reign of wickedness came to a sudden and dramatic end on the morning of June 7, 1609. A massive earthquake, estimated to be a magnitude 7.5, struck the island. Port Royal was built on a sandspit, and the earthquake caused the ground to liquefy. In a matter of minutes, 2/3 of the city, along with its buildings, streets, and about 2,000 of its inhabitants, slid directly into the harbor. A subsequent tsunami washed over what was left. For many at the time, it was seen as divine retribution, God's punishment for the city's sins. Today, Port Royal is one of the best preserved underwater archaeological sites in the world. The silt and lack of oxygen in the harbor have perfectly preserved buildings, some several stories high, and countless artifacts from daily life. Archaeologists have found everything from entire shipwrecks to simple pewter plates and clay pipes. Many found exactly as they were dropped on that fateful morning. One of the most famous finds is a pocket watch, stopped at 11:43 a.m., pinpointing the exact moment the disaster struck. Port Royal isn't just a pirate story. It's an archaeological time capsule that gives us an unparalleled look into 17th century colonial life, brought to a sudden, catastrophic halt. From the glorious temples of Heracleion to the pirate haven of Port Royal, these sunken cities are more than just ruins. They are underwater museums, holding the stories of human triumph, ingenuity, and vulnerability. They teach us about ancient religions, trade, technology, and the immense power of nature. They remind us that civilizations can vanish, but their stories, if we're willing to look, can endure beneath the waves. The ocean still holds countless secrets, and with each new discovery, we piece together a little more of our own incredible human story. Thank you so much for joining me on this deep dive into history. If you found this as fascinating as I do, make sure to hit that like button and subscribe for more adventures into the unknown. Let me know in the comments which sunken city you'd love to explore. Until next time, stay curious.